Hi guys. This video is the first video for your asynchronous learning the week of October 26th. This is going to be your having to do with your first at-home assignment. Okay, so on your login page, you're going to go to Red Scarf Girl. You're going to go to subunit 3, Red Scarf Girl, A Memoir of the Cultural Revolution. And then you're going to go down to lesson 9, The Revolution Hits Home. In class, we will have done all of these tabs, including started the exit ticket. This exit ticket is going to be your formative grade for this lesson. It is due October 30th, which is Friday. This solo is what is going to be inside this video so that you can go over the questions for the solo and have a little bit of direct instruction. All right, so in the solo, go to card 2. On card 2, there is your first part of your reading for this solo. It's the chapter called Fate, which starts on page 90 in your book. Please, up here, people, use this speaker part and then the arrow so that you can play the reading. This is on your own. You need to listen to the reading and be following along in the reading. Okay, and then on card 3, there is a continuation of the reading, and that part is actually on page 99. It starts on page 99. Again, you are going to hit the speaker button and then the arrow. That's only like 2.5 more minutes. It's a small read, but both of these readings, okay, are going to have questions about them. So you need to listen to both of them in order to do the solo. Now go to card 4. Okay, on card 4, number 1, it says, what was Anyi's mother, Teacher Wei, forced to do? Letter A, she had to sweep streets. B, she had to beat a gong and speak out against herself in public. Letter C, she had to whip people accused of being reactionary monsters. Or D, she had to leave her teaching job permanently. You need to go back into the reading and make sure that you can look for that answer, because that is a right there answer. Comprehension. Next, card number 2, that's card number 5, but question number 2. Why didn't Ji Li's cousin, Shan Shan, help his own mother, Ji Wen, get up after she fell? Remember Shi Wen? Okay. He didn't help her up because, letter A, her clothes, an old blue blouse, loose and faded with a big patch on the elbow, embarrassed him. Letter B, after their house was searched, he officially broke relations with her. Letter C, he thought she fell on purpose to get sympathy. Or letter D, he had to live in the same house with her and might never speak to her again. So again, for number 2, remember, he wasn't always happy with her to begin with because Shi Wen wore makeup and made herself look good, and she wore clothes that were really expensive, which constituted her being called bourgeoisie. So why did the son not help her up? And go next, which is going to be card 6 or number 3. This question has 2 parts. In one of the first scenes in Red Scarf Girl, Ji Li was called out of class by Principal Long and a member of the People's Liberation Army. During this scene, she is filled with awe and enthusiasm. Remember at the beginning when she got picked to try out and she was like, oh my gosh, look at how wonderful that soldier looks. I want to be one of them. And then when Ji Li is called out of class during this scene, she has a different emotional reaction. Which of the following best describes Ji Li's reaction when she's called out on Teacher Zhang's office? Okay, So letter A, she's excited about helping her teachers in any way she can. Letter B, she's embarrassed about being called out in front of the class. Letter C, she's nervous about her class status following her to junior high. Or letter D, she's amused about being favored over her classmates. Again, this is not a good emotion, if that's enough of a hint. So part 2 says, which sentence from the text best explains that reaction? A, Chang Hong glanced anxiously at me and twisted her pencil. B, the class burst out laughing. C, I remember primary school, the praises and the honor. Or D, when they found out about my family background, they would treat me just as Du Hai and Yin Lan Lan had. We're going to go next, card 7, which is also going to be question 4. What is the best explanation for why Ji Li writes that she felt cold, even after she went inside? So think about, when you feel cold, even when you're inside and you're warm, it still felt cold. A, the cruelty she witnessed and heard about upset her. B, the Red Guards had turned her off her heat. C, her anger toward her brother's friends gave her a chill. Or D, she felt coldly uninvolved in her brother's problems. So she was upset, okay? Anger doesn't usually make you cold. Think of it that way. Okay, that was number 4. Number 5 says, in this passage, many people are treated in harsh ways. Place each incident next to the person affected. So any of these incidents, okay, An Shi Wen, Ji Yun, Ming Ming, Shang Hong Zhen, Shan Yi Dan, and Teacher Wei. I'm gonna drag these back because I'm not sure that they were in the correct order. So I apologize for that. All right, so the first one, An Shi Wen, I'm gonna give you, basically, Shan had walked right past the mother. She was lying there injured, and he had not stopped to help her. Shan is her son. So this letter A goes along with what happened to An Shi Wen. Okay, go back into the reading to figure out what happens to each one of these characters. Letter B says, they had the body cremated. Zhao Cheng was saying that they probably beat him to death before he hanged himself. Letter C, during those meetings, they beat her and whipped her with their belts. So who got whipped? Letter D, he was wearing a tall dunce cap covered with red X's, the sign for a criminal. Who had to wear that? Who was called a black whelp? And who had them stand on the desk and say, if I stared at them, they would dig my eyes out? 2 torn shoes, the symbol of immorality, were hung around her neck along with a sign. So this was a girl. And who did that happen to? So you're gonna go back into the story if you need to match what happened to each one of these characters. And card 9, which is number 6. What did An Yi and Ji Li do that they knew was for olds? A, they blamed their elders for the trouble their families were in. B, they decided to wear clothes that were considered bourgeois. C, they tried to see into the future by practicing a superstitious ritual. Or D, they agreed that students who didn't study should get dismissed from study groups. Go back into the reading again. This is a right there question. It is something that you can find out just from rereading the story. When you have finished, hand that in. A couple of things. Please make sure that this is handed in by November 3rd, because that is when it's due for every single person, whether you're in the first group or the second group. If you have any questions, please use Schoology to email me, or you may use the talking points to text message and ask questions as well. I have both on my phone. I'm usually very, very responsive. It may take a couple of hours, but it will get done and I will respond to you. So with that being said, I hope that everybody stays safe, stay healthy, and I will see you in class.